So, the rumors out there. Russian/Latvian newspaper posts. Calgary Flames have offered Oliver, and I've heard it pronounced Killington or Killington, doesn't matter, Sam Bennett, and 2 first-round draft picks for Alex Ovechkin. No. I'm saying no for this reason. Washington wouldn't leak what Calgary was offering them, because Calgary will rescind the trade offer immediately. Calgary won't leak who they're offering, because Brian Burke will kill them with his hair. Or his vampire teeth. I haven't seen the vampire teeth, but I'm pretty sure they're because he has vampire hair. He will drive anybody to the airport who is caught leaking information. And it harkens back to the Dougie Hamilton rumors. Remember now, during the season, there were rumors that Dougie Hamilton was on his way out of Calgary. And Brian Burke came forward and said, it's not happening. And it didn't. It didn't happen. For Calgary to offer up that much for an Alex Ovechkin in his 30s is crazy. For Ovechkin to go to Calgary, that would be crazy. Remember, Ovechkin's going to have a say in where he goes, if he goes anywhere. I think what's happening here is armchair GMing, and it's to a crazy degree. And I've seen it before with, and it's not just Russian newspapers, of course, there are numerous instances where a European player who's frustrated in the NHL will go home, say something to his Swedish, Finnish, Danish newspaper, it gets published, they seem to not understand that you can translate from one language into another, and then they're left backtracking going, wait, I don't want out. I'm just frustrated. I just can't see anybody leaking out a trade this big. Could I see Calgary being interested in Ovechkin? Maybe. It's a large cap hit to eat up. Large cap hit to eat up. And it would hamper Calgary's ability to add the kind of depth they need to get to that contender status. So that the next time they make the playoffs, they're not getting swept by an Anaheim Ducks. They need a team that can beat Anaheim, beat Edmonton, or at least push one of those teams to 7 games. Calgary doesn't have that roster, and adding Ovechkin and pulling out a Bennett and a defensive prospect and 2 first-rounders, that's 4 pieces. For an Ovechkin that scored about 30 goals, points in the 60s, he's still putting up decent totals. He's still a really good goal scorer. And in Calgary, yeah, he could score tons. But it just doesn't make sense for Calgary. It really doesn't make sense for Washington. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for Ovechkin. I can't find an angle to come at this where I go, okay, this works. The Capitals need pieces. They need players. Bennett is going to get a raise coming out of his ELC. It's not going to be a big raise. He hasn't performed the way he was supposed to. He is, and in all honesty, he's a year away from being seen as a bust. He is not a piece Washington's going to say, yeah, we'll take him back. We'll take that. And a defensive prospect that may not make it. No. 2 first-rounders, I'm assuming they mean this year or next year. Calgary's drafting 16th in a draft that everybody has decided is really weak. Nope. You give him Ovechkin, you're still drafting 16th or beyond next year. You have now traded the face of your franchise, the player whose jersey is everywhere in your arena, without getting back a single blue chip player. And the last time I saw that was Jaromir Jagr getting traded from Pittsburgh to Washington. So these guys were involved, and they had the jersey with that logo on it at the time. And it really, really, really backfired on Pittsburgh. It sent them into a tailspin. They saved the cap hit with Jagr, they got back young pieces, and it blew up on them. It didn't work. Washington doesn't want to make that kind of deal. They're not in the market to make Calgary better either. And Ovechkin would make Calgary better. Losing Bennett would be a weird move for Calgary in that I think they still envision him as a number 2 center. I think they still have high hopes that he's going to get over the doldrums he had this past season, and he's going to develop into this star player. His market value right now shouldn't be that high to command a name like Ovechkin. We're going to hear wacky rumors. And certainly, because Ovechkin's a lightning rod to the Russians, we're going to hear wacky rumors out of Russia. We're going to hear KHL rumors. We're going to hear, it's Calgary today, it could be someone else tomorrow. I'm reporting on this because it's kind of started to get a footing on some websites, not really much talk on the main, because I think I'd be very surprised if TSN and Sportsnet really get into it, because it's pretty obvious to me the source of this rumor is sketchy. Not the newspaper, but their source, because it can't be somebody in Washington. Because it'd have to be McClellan, wouldn't it? McClellan's not going to leak that out. Is Ovechkin going to leak that? No. Because they're not going to go to Ovechkin until they got a deal done. And they're not dealing Ovechkin. As far as I know, Washington's making no effort to get rid of Ovechkin. And Calgary, like I said, would not leak anything out. Tree Living is not going to leak anything out. There's no chance. Burke? Oh yeah, right. Brian Burke never, ever would leak out anything like that. So what you're left with is, it's a rumor that may come from somebody who heard something from someone else. Maybe Tree Living was seen talking with McClellan and somebody went, well, you know, Calgary could offer us this. Maybe they'd look at, that's the kind of package we'd be looking at for Ovechkin, right? And it's developed into a rumor, but it's highly speculative. There's not anything really to it. Because if there was, it would be a trade. We'd be talking about the trade and Ovechkin wearing this jersey. Well, not necessarily this one. This is the Germany jersey. But, you know, Calgary's colors. And I can't see it. I think Ovechkin plays next year in Washington, or he plays in the KHL. And it's going to depend on how much he wants to play in the Olympics. The big thing with Ovechkin is the Olympics. And Washington's already said, we're fine with him going over and playing the Olympics. You really think Calgary wants to pick up a guy who wants to take off for 3 weeks? Well, they're still paying him a lot of money, who could get hurt playing in the Olympics. And it happens. Guys get hurt playing in these tournaments. And I think that will affect whether or not a team wants to deal with Ovechkin. Here's how I would see it happening. McClellan goes to Team A. Just, let's say Anaheim. Goes to Anaheim. Something crazy happens. Anaheim's like, we want Ovechkin. And Anaheim says, okay. So Bob Murray says, all right, we've got this deal. We have to talk to Ovechkin. They would have to talk to Ovechkin and say, how serious are you about playing in the Olympics? Are you going to play in the NHL this coming season? McClellan could reassure them, but they're going to want to hear it from Ovechkin. They're going to want to work something out with Ovechkin. You don't want him being here and then in the winter when the Olympics are going on, you don't want him going into a slump because he's looking at what's going on back home and thinking, if only I was in South Korea, maybe I'd be making a difference. You don't want that to be a distraction. Again, it's the cap hit is huge. So it has to get to that point. And that is going to be a focus before teams even going to think about trading for Ovechkin. Not this year. And next summer? It's another year on, and if Washington fails to make it again, who knows? It's tricky. Trading Ovechkin is going to be very difficult. And we can all armchair GM whatever deals we think we can get done. But you're going to have to get back a prime piece if you're trading away the face of your franchise and a guy who has put butts in seats for over a decade. And whether you like him or you dislike him, he has done that. He has sold a lot of tickets in Washington. He's created a lot of excitement league-wide. And he's been one of the best goal scorers ever in the history of the game. I still say, for my money, he's the best pure goal scorer I've seen in my lifetime. And I will continue to say that even though his goal totals have dipped the last year. I think he's capable of another 50-goal season. Will he get it? Probably not. His ice time's been depleted. Barry Trotz doesn't seem to play him the way that other coaches have. And again, sort of reminds me when Dale Hunter had him. Not completely, but it reminds me of that. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, I don't want to get into like crazy speculation here. Is Ovechkin tradable? There's the question. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Trying to hit the 6,000. I know you can't see it right now because I got the light on and the light's pretty bright with the twilight sort of thing going on outside. But we're trying to hit 6,000. And I think each and every one of you that have hit subscribe along the way. And big props to people who subscribe to Patreon as well. Going to be doing some videos for the new patrons as well over the next few days, and look forward to that. But for now, I'm done for today. Discuss Ovechkin, Flames, crazy. Yes or no?